Hi, if you are watching this video, it means that you are ready to take your paper to the point where you are reporting your sources and you are using terms that introduce your ideas, strong reporting or argument terms. So, strong content for nonfiction evidence, meaning strong support, is relevant, it's got background to it, it's a fact, and it comes from a credible source. The only way for your reader to know it comes from a credible source is if you include the source in the text. If you just have a works cited page at the end and you make no mention whatsoever of where this comes from, then your paper's not going to be as credible. So you have to learn how to give source information that makes your evidence believable and have a little bit of depth. So when introducing evidence, a writer should relevant source information should include specific relevant source information that helps the reader understand why the evidence is credible or believable. Strong reporting verb or phrase that accurately represents the evidence. So a strong reporting verb or phrase has to do with the word you choose, the transition word you choose to introduce the information. So if you went into math class and said something like, well, Mrs. Piven, we learned in Mrs. Piven's class, according to Miss Piven, the according to part is the strong reporting verb. It's reporting what the information. Students often will use weak language that doesn't have a strong feel to it. And when you are writing an argument paper, you really want to have a strong position. You want to sound confident and strong. And when you use words like feel like, said, told, mentioned, it gives it less weight. Let's go on here. Steve Jobs, a co-founder of Apple, argued that determination can be just as important for success as intelligence is. He argued this. He made a stand about it. That's a strong reporting word. It says, let's see, although the lead-ins above are all different from each other, each one gives the reader strong source information and strong reporting verb. According to a study published in Geological Society of America's magazine, GSA Today, there's a strong geologic evidence that New Zealand deserves to be considered its own continent called Zealandia. So we know who it's from. It's the Geological Society of America, or GSA Today. And we've got that strong reporting verb of according to. A 2017 article in National Geographic, so National Geographic is a well-known, respected publication, reported, this is a nice strong word, they reported this out, that some fish fossils are over 500 million years old. Strong source information is complete. A strong source information is specific, relevant, and answers all the following. Who originally wrote this or said it? When did they write or say it? And why is the author's source credible or believable? When your source is a person, make sure to give your reader information about that person's backgrounds and qualifications. This can convince your reader that the person is credible, is a credible source on the topic. So for the examples here, Steve Jobs, a co-founder of Apple, that's pretty credible. Apple is a worldwide brand and he founded it. He's not just the head of it. He's not just the guy who works there. He founded it. He's the brainchild behind it. Now, if you left that out and just put Steve Jobs argued, not as powerful. It comes across as weak source information because it's incomplete. It doesn't include his title. Strong reporting verbs are interesting and accurate. Strong reporting verbs make your writing more interesting to read and help the reader understand how information was presented in the original source. Avoid using words like says when introducing evidence. This verb is not interesting. Let's say Steve Jobs, a co-founder of Apple, said that determination can be as important, not as strong as argued. Let's look at one of the other examples previously used. An article in National Geographic said that some fish fossils are over 500 million years old. Reported, much stronger verb. Use source information and a reporting verb to introduce the evidence. Source information and reporting verbs help your reader understand why your evidence is credible. If you don't provide source information or reporting verb, your readers will be confused. So there's some more examples here. Strong source information. Fish are one of the oldest types of animals in existence. In fact, a 2017 article in National Geographic reported that some fish fossils are over 500 million years old. And then here's missing information down here. Fish are one of the oldest types of animals in existence. Some fish fossils are over 500 million years old. We don't know where that came from. There's no strong reporting verb. Now, this is in no red ink, and I am going to have you practice and do an exercise in no red ink. So you're going to go to the practice and you're going to practice noticing where there's a strong reporting verb. I have broken down what I think is a good way to go about it for people who are just trying and who need a formula and a system. And so let me show you my system. I've got the system where you use an introductory transition word. So that's the one that leads in your example. So for example, in addition, another example, furthermore, moreover, because you've just made a claim of some sort, and now you're providing an example. So here we've got this transition word. So one reason competitive sports is not good for children is that it takes up too much time. I've got organized competitive sports. It takes up too much time. So that's my claim. For example, I'm transitioning in my example. Now I've included the writer's name because I'm using an article, Megan Lopez. I'm giving her a credential or a title. She is a writer for the Denver news station. So I've included her name. I've included her credential or title, what she is. And then I've included the source, where she came from, who's she reporting out, and then a reporting word. Points out that too much time in practice means not enough time for free play. Now, this is not in quotation marks because I put it into my own words. This is a paraphrased example. Furthermore, now, when your essay shapes up, you will have an explanation after that to talk about why that's important and why that's valid. But this is just the bare bones where we just have the claim and then our examples, our reasoning or evidence, if you will. So furthermore, now there's that introductory transition word. I'm letting the reader know that there's an example coming. Then I have the writer's name, Jacqueline Stenson, msnbc.com contributor. So now I've switched it. I've said where she comes from and what her title is. She's from msnbc.com and she's a contributor. And she also notes, and that's my reporting word, she also notes. So I'm taking it further. I'm using extension language. I'm using transition language to further the point, to keep the person's mind going like, we had this idea, and now we also have this idea as well from this other person. So two people are saying the same idea, which is validating my claim that organized sports is not good for kids because it takes up too much time. Okay, so there's a couple different ways. They don't always have to go in this order. It depends on where the source is and how it lays best in the sentence. For people who like structure, you can follow this order. But for people who are able to and have some capabilities with variety, you can figure out, well, what did I take this from? How would it best be presented? But you want to make sure to have who the writer is. And if you don't know who the writer is because you came off of a website or a blog or something, you just say a writer from, and then name the blog, name the source. If you can't find who actually wrote it, then just indicate a writer, a representative writer from momblogs.com or whatever it is. Okay. I hope that helps for you to add your source information and your strong reporting verb. If you're watching this, it means you are ready for this because you have the skeleton of your body paragraphs done, and you are ready to add this as we build this essay. Happy writing.